Hi guys, thanks for joining me. This is for our Toolbox Assignment number 1 for the first problem. I'm going to try to go quick through these because I know you're just looking for help, so feel free to fast forward to the part that you need. So let's get started. When I have a table or just a series of points, the first thing I want to do is make a table. So let's make our table. Always label X and Y. The other part to this is remembering about Miss X and Mr. Y, making sure that we get the X labeled as the domain and independent, and the Y labeled as the range and dependent. And I promise you, you will be asked this question on the START test. And if you know it, if you label it like this, you're done. You're good. And the next thing I want to do is I want to get my an equation to go with this. And you guys know that we have learned stat. We start here with stat and then edit. And I just enter my row of, is it a row? It's a column. I enter my columns just like I see them. Then I do stat, I go over to calculate. I'm going to choose quadratic regression because if it's linear, it'll just zero out that quadratic term, and that's what happens. If you see here, A is 0. Let me move my calculator. So you should still be seeing this on yours. We've got A equals 0, B equals 2, and C equals 3. So let's rewrite that equation. I also want to put it in function notation. I don't need to rewrite the 0x squared because the 0 times the x squared is just a 0, and 0 does not make any change or does not affect anything. So here we go. So now I've got my table and I've written equations both in f of x and y equals notation. Moving on, we want to do the intercepts. I can tell by my equation that my y-intercept is at 5. Okay, I'm not sure what my x-intercept is, so I'm going to bring my calculator back into the, yeah, it doesn't like that side. And I'm going to put 2x plus 3 in y equals. I'm afraid it's between -1 and 2 over here. Let's look at our table of points. And there's 0, 3. Because I put 2x plus 3. Let's try that again. There's 0, 5 like we expect. Let's see if we can find, yeah. There should be a 0 right between 1 and -1 because to find our our x-intercept, you're looking for, you want a number in the x and a 0 in the y. So we talked about this earlier. We can do y equals 2x plus 5, that's our equation, and we know that we're looking for a point that has a value in the x place and a 0 in the y place. So I can substitute this 0 for y, and I'm going to end up with 0 equals 2x plus 5. This is a very straightforward algebra problem. So -5 over 2 equals x. And of course, -5 over 2, you can use your calculator and you can rewrite that as -2.5. So going back, I've got -2.5. Those are my intercepts. It asks for a verbal explanation too. And that's going to be more important on a different type of problem, and I'll explain it to you when we get there. Let's go to the parent function. We know this is a straight line, so we know the parent function is y equals x. Y equals x goes through the point 0, 0, and it has a slope of 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. And so we just draw our parent function, and it looks like that. To sketch the graph, I'm going to use the intercept, which is 0, 5, and I'm also going to use this point, -1. See this point right here? -1, 3. And then I'm also going to use 2.50. So what I need to do is I just need to make that a straight line. And there is, I've got the parent function and the graph of the function we were given, and we do know that it is linear. One of the things you see on the STAR test is they give you points, and in fact I think this is that type of question where they give you a set of points and they ask you what the parent function is. And so you want to make sure that you pick y equals x if it's a straight line. Moving on. The only thing we have left is the slope. And we know that this is in slope-intercept form, and that this, in fact, 2 is our slope. I like to write it as a fraction because it's more descriptive. So we've got m equals 2 over 1, which is the change in y over the change in x. So y changes positively. Or let's say y increases. I like that better. Let's say y increases by 2 every time x increases by 1. And that's it, guys. Move on to the next one.